So Joe, one of the things that we do is we do a lot of bringing different systems and different manufacturers together for customers. And we always get asked a lot of questions about command center and workflow things. What happens when an event occurs in my building? What's going to happen in my command center? So there's all kinds of gadgets that are out in the field. You have panic buttons or fire pull stations or gunshot detection systems, cameras, card access, all those things like that. But one of the things that we want to talk about is how easy or what happens in the command center and how easy are those workflows when something does occur.
Sure, with multiple systems as well.
Exactly.
In front of that operator.
Exactly. So when we were on the way in this morning, there was a bunch of magazines that were free giveaway in this Campus and Security and Life Safety magazine. There's a really good article that talks about control and considerations for the campus environment. And we are constantly getting involved in whether it's a larger multi-building campus or whether it's even just a large complex, single building type campus that's very drawn out and has a lot of different systems in it. And how do you handle events? How do you know that an event is a real event, and so on and so forth. So Commend has an option for some really good command and control capability for the front end. I think we're going to take a look at it in a little bit, but they do have some really nice solutions which are very simple and easy to manage.
Sure, so this system is Studio by Commend, and what they're showing here today at the show is emergency mode that is built inside of Studio, and it's all user configurable, customer specific of how they want that to be built out.
Right, so they can design that user interface. So when one of those, we'll call them sensors in the field, somebody hits one of those sensors or one of those sensors activates automatically, what comes up in front of the operator sitting at the console needs to be very simple and very easy, or else as things are going crazier in the facility or at the campus and all the phones are ringing, the radios are going nuts, and the police officers are getting involved, the security people are getting involved, the guy sitting at the console is going to take an important role in what is going on, being the eyes and the ears and being able to communicate with not only the first responders but also the residents or the occupants in the building, giving them specific instructions. And there could be lots of different instructions being given based on where in a facility, given instructions in a facility, sending specific instructions out to given zones or even a given device related to the incident and how it responds.
And like you said, we want it to be easy for the operator, and we want them to have a workflow that they can work through, identify that there is a situation, and be, again, very easy for that operator, because in the event of an actual situation, there's a lot of stress involved, and we want the right decision to be made and get the right announcements or the right pictures to these devices out there for escape routes or things of that nature.
All right, so let's take a look at some of the software options that Commend has and some of the other features and functions that they offer within the Studio, the CompLC, and the Symphony line of product in terms of the software and what its capabilities are.
Sounds great. Let's go take a look. So this is an example of emergency mode from Studio. This can be activated on an ID5, just a mushroom button on a station, or your traditional intercom station that may be in a pole or mounted to a wall in let's say a parking garage. So we're just going to go through this to show the functionality. So the lockdown mode has initiated.
So this is important because I think it shows workflow, right? What happens in a command center and it has to be simple, because when all the bells and whistles are going off, things are going to get crazy, and we've got to be able to identify, is it a real threat or is it a false alarm? When people are running and things are going on, out away from the command center, you've got to understand that, is it a real threat? Meaning, am I going to hit the button, or is it just somebody bumped the button by mistake when they were cleaning or when they were doing something along the way with a cart?
Exactly. So this mode makes it very easy for an operator to confirm that it's a genuine threat. So we have camera call up inside of here, so we can say yes, this is a genuine threat, and it makes it very easy. So it's one button, yes, it is a genuine threat. We make an overhead announcement, and now we can either lock down the whole building or go into situation management. Situation management, we can select the intercom.
Or zone.
Or by zone.
This is a device-specific or zone-specific choice. It can be very detailed or very general in terms of how this is laid out on the screen. It's 100% customizable.
So we can select the message that fire, tornado, or a shooter in the building, and we can actually select the screen that we want to show on the intercoms that we have selected.
So some of the new devices that are on the screen are shown here. Some of the more, what I'll call user-friendly devices. We have those traditional stainless steel devices with a big red mushroom button. Some of the newer devices in terms of the product offering, the ID10 and the ID5 and the OD10 are more touchscreen type devices which have the ability to do far more than just receive an event and act as a means by which to communicate with the central station. What you're showing here is select the screen that you want to be displayed on those field devices so that they become a two-way communication, not just in talking to the person, but the person can see maps, see other information that we want to push to them based on a specific kind of incident, whether it be, go to a tornado shelter, or don't use this stairwell because the incident is associated with this stairwell, go to a different stairwell.
Exactly.
And that actually displays on the field device, and that's one of the benefits of these newer, more high-tech
more dynamic
field device, more high-tech field devices, right.
So after selecting the screen, so we're going to select an escape route to show on these ID5s here. Then we're going to confirm. And now overhead message is going right now inside the booth, and the escape route that we have selected is now displayed on all of the ID5s.
And these are all specific to the event and specific to the buttons on the screen that we want to activate. So you could actually have 3 different things going on in the facility at one time and be sending very specific instructions to those 3 different areas based on that same incident.
Yeah, so if you or your customer is interested in this, we are more than happy to demo this, show you this in more greater detail.